everyone, I'm Jodi and welcome to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here today. This video was a request from a loyal subscriber of mine. Her name is Bernice. So Bernice, thank you for commenting and asking for a tutorial on this look from the video that I did on some of the best mascaras under $10. I'll link that at the end of this video if you're interested in seeing it. But that look was really sort of my signature look, I guess, if I was to have a signature look. Before I put together any look, I like to first start with the outfit that I'm going to wear that day. And then from there, I will pull together some eyeshadow palettes and I'll pull together the blush that I think I'm going to wear. And then I'll add a lipstick or lip gloss that I think will go good with the color palette. And I will switch things in and out, different lipsticks, different blushes until I find that palette that I think really does complement one another. And then I will put everything else away. So hopefully that will help you as you start to pull together your look. Just take a little bit of extra time in the beginning and identify, what those colors are and do they all pull together? Are they in the warm tones or are they in the cool tones? Is that the tone you really want overall? And how will those colors match your outfit? After that comes the really fun part. Now, as we do this tutorial, I encourage you to put your phone wherever you do your makeup, your iPad, however you're watching this today, and we'll do it together. I'm gonna start with no makeup on. I'm gonna walk you through the brushes that I use, the different foundations, how I use my eyeshadow, and we'll go through it together. So thanks for getting ready with me today. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. We're gonna get started. And like I said, you guys, this is one of my favorite videos to do. So thanks so much again, Bernice, for asking for just, when you get ready with girlfriends, it's more fun than when you get ready by yourself. So this will be a quick tutorial. This is sort of my everyday look anyway, so this should be fun. I've already put on my sunscreen, which you guys know I'm very religious about. And the next thing I've been doing is I've been loving this Tatcha primer, and it is $45. I think it's called the Silk Canvas. And it comes with this little tiny disc, and what I love about it is you only need about the size of a rice. And then I put it just around my nose where my pores start to show. They're enlarged, and then down on my chin. And then I get a little bit oily right through my forehead, so I'll put just a little bit right in through there, and then just kind of let that dry for a second. And after that, I put on just a little bit of City Beauty City Lips so that my lips can be moisturizing and sort of plumping while I'm doing the rest of my makeup. Next, I'll go in with just about 2 dots of this La Roche Double Moisturizer, and then I will put on a pump of my foundation, which right now I'm using this LYS. I just did a review on this. I'm really impressed with it. So that way I have about a 50-50 mix between the foundation and the moisturizer, and then I just press that everywhere with this Kabuki brush. I really do enjoy using the Sigma Kabuki brushes for my foundation. Now I will go back in with a dampened beauty sponge when I do my blush and the contour, but by and large, this one is what I use the most. And I take this color all over my eyelids and everything just so that I can get a nice neutral canvas, and by neutral I just mean a monotone canvas to start with. After I finish my foundation, I'll grab a contour. This is the LYS in dark, and it's a matte contour, which is one of the things I like about it. It also is not patchy when it goes on. It's very smooth. It's a powder, like I said, but it's very smooth to go on and blend on top of the foundation. And I really use it just to sort of bring that receding hairline a little bit forward, just to make my face look more round and not as far back, so that looks more shadowed. And then I will just take the bottom part of this brush and just go slightly below my jawline, not to create a jaw, but just to create a little bit of shadow effect. And I always try to avoid, when I'm using contour, I try to avoid the hollows of my eyes, because as we age, that is where I really tend to see the lack of collagen. But I will put extra concealer there, and that's the next thing that I'll go to. So I like to use my concealer next, and I like to just do a few dots under my eye, and then I like to go right on the inside of my nose. I just think that that really brightens it up for me. And then I'll spend a little bit more time right in the hollow of my temple. And that's about the only areas where I'll put a concealer. And then I will just blend that in with a damp beauty sponge. Now for my under eye concealer, what I like to do is press that in, not move it around, but really press it. And then I will take just a little bit of a light translucent powder. Usually it's the Laura Mercier powder. And I'll just put a little bit on my hand, dab it with this damp beauty sponge from my hand, and just press it into the under eye area, as long as I've already made sure that I've gotten all the product out of any of the wrinkles that I have under my eyes. And the hardest thing with this, I think, you guys, is just to make sure that I don't pounce and pull, because you know, if you've ever painted a wall and you've got paint on it, and then you take the paintbrush or whatever you're putting on it and you pull it off too fast, how it sort of like pulls out and it's not a nice smooth. My concealer can absolutely do that if I don't just pounce it and press really carefully. If I get in too big of a hurry and I'm just like then I just feel like it doesn't have as smooth of an application as I would like. Then the next thing that I do, just to make sure that I'm pulling off all of the extra oils from the foundation, is I just take this is a face halo. I think I picked these up at Ulta. And I like to just go over my face. I saw a makeup artist do this a couple years ago and it has made a big difference on my skin. And just pick up any of that excess oil from your product, any of the serums or anything that's left over, and it just helps your makeup stay in place throughout the rest of the day. It doesn't make it look matte if you don't have a matte foundation, so I do like it for that reason also. Next, I'll take a contour stick. This is by Anastasia of Beverly Hills. I really enjoyed this. I keep these things everywhere. I think this is a medium. And I like to just draw on just a little bit of concealer just where my cheekbone is, and I bring it in a downward motion on both sides, just coming to about right as my face starts to round on both sides. And what I like about doing it this way is I can sort of look in the mirror and match it up. Now the contour really is where we want that shadow to start being. And I don't blend it yet. I leave it like that until I put on my cream blush. And if it's a cream blush in a stick, it gets extra bonus points because it makes this application so much easier. I just go right on top of that in both sides. Now, if you wanted to get really creative or even more efficient and faster, you could take, if you had your highlighter in a stick form, you could put that just right above that blush on both sides and then just really sort of blend the three together. I use a powder highlighter, so it wouldn't work for me, but you can see how easy this is gonna be. A damp beauty sponge. I like to take that thicker side and literally just push and blend. And when I'm pushing in, I'm kind of turning it just a little bit, not too much, because I don't want to move the product. I just want it to blend together. And you'll know when it's done. When it looks right to you, then it's done. But you can see just a few pounces and it is perfect. Now, if you find that you've got it too low or you brought it too forward, just go back to your foundation brush with whatever product's left on there and just kind of clean that up. And it's really that simple. No surprise for my eyebrow pencil, I'm using the Pure eyebrow pencil, but you guys will be happy to know that I just completed a complete eyebrow tutorial from what shape your eyebrows look the best based on your shaped face, and how to use powder, how to use the gel, how to use the liner, which setting products to use. So that will be coming out this next week. So be sure that you've subscribed to the channel and hit the notification button so that you're notified when that video comes out and any other video. But I do have a few eyebrow products that I haven't shown you before that I think you'll really enjoy. But eyebrows just, they take long, but they're worth the time. And I'm really enjoying this new trend of more bushy eyebrows. Although I did see something the other day where Kate Moss's daughter on Instagram posted really thin eyebrows. So who knows what the trend really is, but as long as somewhat of a bushy eyebrow is in, that's the one I am going for, because it just, yeah, it helps hide the sins of our 20s and our tweezers. Tweezers in your 20s, bad combination. I have this Anastasia of Beverly Hills. It is the Brow Wiz, and it's a colored one. And the reason I like that is because it helps to pick up all those little fiber peach fuzz hairs that are usually too blonde to see, which just gives you extra thickness, and it looks like you have more hair than you do. So you can kind of see the difference between the two. And I'll do this first, and then I will go back in and sort of outline my brow shape so that then I can fill in the shape that I want. But I like to just cover all these little peach fuzz hairs, and it just looks like I have a little bit more hair than I do. Then I'll grab my Pure stick, and again, what I love about this is it's the thin on one side and it's the thick on the other. I use it in medium. It only comes in, I think, 3 or 4 shades. I'll link them down below. I am a 1 cup of coffee person. I tried 2 cups one time, and who am I even kidding? It's not even a full cup of coffee. It is about a half a cup because the rest of it is creamer. And I tried 2 cups one day because it was cold out and I thought, oh, it'd be nice just to have something nice and warm. And my eyebrows turned out looking like a detour through a busy city street. It was all over the place. They were not straight and I didn't recognize it until I was out in the light. And my husband, who is as sweet as he can be, he's like, are you trying something new with your eyebrows today? And I was like, no, what do you mean? And I then saw what he was talking about, and he's so sweet to have said it that way. So once I get them sort of harsh, I'll then go back in and fill all the little hairs, and then when I get to the front, I'll just do individual hairs sort of in an upward position to make it look as though they are going rogue. And then once I get the shape that I want, I'll go back in with the brush part. And if you don't have a brush like this on your eyebrow pencil, then you definitely want to pick up a separate brush, just because, and that's one of the key tools that you'd want in any eyebrow toolkit, is definitely a eyebrow brush. And then I just go back in and sort of soften all of those little hairlines so that they're not all one color, but that there's no real gaps in between the hairlines. And then I will just pull that out on both sides. Looks like I got a little longer on that side. And then once you get the shape that you want, I would just set it with an eyebrow gel. And then with the brow gel, I will just take from the arch out and comb those sort of down and out. And then this front half, I will comb more straight up, but blend it to the second half of the brow. And then this little bit in the front, about a pinky width size, I'll just sort of comb it a little bit towards the front. Now don't worry if you don't have the lines exactly where you want them, because we can go back in with the concealer and clean that up. A little bit on your hand, a small synthetic brush. This isn't one from Nars that I like because of how thin it is and how small and precise. Just take a little bit of that concealer, and then you can just go real sharp if you need to clean something up. And then you can just blend that away. I don't know about you guys, but one of the reasons I really enjoy makeup is because I am not artistic at all. I'm not a good drawer. I'm not musically inclined per se, but makeup just allows me a chance to get sort of creative and artistic and play with shadowing and highlighting on my own face. But it's always changing, so I'm not ever bored with it just one way, because, you know, makeup trends change, there's new colors that come out. So that's I think why I really enjoy makeup so much. It's not to put on a mask every day, it's not to hide my flaws, because that's just who I am, that's just what my face looks like. But it just helps me to sort of be creative, and it's my little artistic moment every morning, which makes me happy. All right, so now that my eyebrows are done, the next thing I do is take a little bit of concealer and go on my eyes again. Now you can use a primer. I like to use a concealer because my eyes get a little bit purpley, but this concealer just helps me get a nice monotoned color over my whole eyelid. So I'm starting with no other colors that can mess up the color of my eyeshadow. Such a bummer that with YouTube you can't just play whatever music you want, because wouldn't it be fun to just have like normal music that you could have playing in the background, like whatever song you normally get ready to. I don't know if you guys like to get ready with music. I do. I just feel like it makes me just go faster or something. I don't know, but I love. If you guys want to hear more music in the background when I'm doing these videos, let me know. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to play some fun music while we get ready together. And I hope we are getting ready together. I hope you have me on your phone or wherever you do your makeup, and that we're doing it together, because that's always what makes it the most fun. So now that I have my eyebrows done and I've made my eyelids kind of the way I want, I'm gonna go in with this ColourPop by Rosé. Is that what it's called? Yes. Oh, by the Rosé. ColourPop by the Rosé. I highlighted this one just recently on one of my favorite finds. It's a really fun little eyeshadow palette. It has some fun little colors in it, but I'm really loving these warm peachy colors lately. I'm gonna start with this Morphe M330, and I'm gonna go in with this Effervescent, which is just this color right here. I'm just gonna start on the outer corner with my hand as far back on the brush as I can. That helps me control it without putting way too much product where I don't want product. It just makes it a lighter hand. It almost looks more like blush than it does eyeshadow, but have no fear, we will blend it. So now that we've got it in the eye socket on the outer half of the eye, I'll just keep it on the outer half and just blend it. So do you guys have a solution for the whole streaming services? Am I the only one, or are you guys having this challenge too, where there's so many different shows that you like to watch, but they're not on this streaming service, they're on that streaming service. So you sign up for that streaming service and there's $5.99 a month or whatever, and then you need another streaming service, and then you need passwords for all these streaming services. I'm like, it can't be that difficult, but I find that you still need to pay for the internet. You still need cable in some cases, but I'm starting to feel like my cable is like my home phone. But we're starting to talk about our cable like our home phone. I don't know how much we need it anymore. We just have all these streaming services, and then you find that another new show that you love is now on a new streaming service. It's like, oh my gosh, make it stop. So you see, I'm just blending and blending and blending, and I'm trying to keep it inside of my eyelid and right at about the halfway mark and right where the eye socket is, and just blurring the high side of that line and the low side of that line. But I'm not covering my lid with it. I'm just making that sort of that transition arch color. And the transition really is just a fake line to look as though there is an eye socket there. So you can put it anywhere you want, your transition, if you want to move, if you want more eyelid to play with, or if you have hooded eyes and you want to have your eye socket higher, closer to your eyebrow. That's really what the purpose of that is for. And you'll see I didn't go all the way up to my eyebrows. I don't want to take that pinky color up that high. The next thing we'll do is take this wide brush, any type of a wide brush will do, and we'll go to that light color right here. And I'm just gonna go just above that color that we just added, but below the eyebrow. And I'm also gonna bring that just on the inside of my nose, just to keep that nice and bright. And then last, I'll take that same color and just go over my entire eyelid from the inner corner to the outer corner and below the eye socket. So I hope you guys have something fun planned today. If you're watching me on the weekend, you've got some plans this weekend to get out. It is still winter time, well, depending on when you watch this video. But right now when I'm filming it, it is winter time. And then what I'll do is take that same Morphe M330 fluffy brush and take that same light color, and I'm just gonna sort of whitewash over that transition color that we placed everywhere. Sort of blends it. It's sort of like when you use a toner on your hair, when you've taken some and you've lightened it, and then your stylist uses a toner to sort of blend it all together. That's what I think this whitewashing or light washing does. And I usually will do that with whatever color I put on my eyelid, unless it's a darker color than my transition, or if it's a glitter. And that's what we're gonna do next, is take just a little bit of this shimmer. There's so many pretty shimmery colors in here. I'm gonna take this MAC 200 white fluffy brush. Just gonna add a little bit of e.l.f. setting spray. I find that adding setting spray to your brush before you add a glitter really does help the glitter, the little tiny pieces of glitter and sparkle, get on your brush better and then stay on your eye better. And I'm just gonna put that right down the center of my eye. Not on the inner corner and not on the outer corner, but right down the center. I'm gonna take that darkest color just to give a little bit more depth in the corner. And you'll see I just put that where my eye socket ends at the very end. It's not on my eyelid and it's not above my brow bone. It's just right in that little socket, wherever that is for you. And then just take any fluffy blending brush and just blend that in ever so slightly, just to give a little bit more depth and dimension to the corner of the eye. Next, we're gonna go to the under eyes. This is the Penny Lane Always Sharp by Smashbox. And I'm just gonna take that underneath my eyelashes from the outer corner to about halfway in. Next, I'll take this angled RealTechniques brush, any angled brush will do, and just blur and soften and smudge that, and try to keep it as close to the root of your lashes as possible. It just helps to give some thickness to your lash area and a little bit more dimension and depth. And next, I'll go back in with that angle brush and just go with that very dark color that we use, the darkest color in your palette, the color that you used on your outer most darkest part of your eye, and just put this a little bit on the outer corner, just about a brush width's worth. Now I'll go back in and just curl my lashes again just to make sure that they are curled, and I like to curl at the very base of the lash and kind of squeeze as I'm coming up, so that I don't have just that one hard kink at the root of my lashes, but they sort of have this natural, well, there's nothing natural about using this tool, but you know what I mean. And then next we will go with that same eyeliner that we put on the bottom, and I'm just gonna go across my upper lashes, but I'm gonna start at the corner of my eye and come out just a little bit on both sides so that I can get, I don't want a winged liner, right? I always say that, but for this look, I just wanna come up just a little bit and then sort of take a step back and make sure those are at the same angle so that one doesn't sort of point straight out and one doesn't go up. And from there, I'll just take that point that I just put and use that as my starting point and just draw little tiny lines until I get to about the center of my eye. And then once I get to the center, that's when I blend that into my eyelash. And if you just practice that a few times, you'll absolutely get the hang of it. And then what you can do is just go back to your concealer if you feel like you just didn't quite get the angle that you wanted, or they're not exactly the same on both sides, and just cover it back up with a little bit of concealer and the point of your beauty sponge. The beauty sponge that becomes an eraser. And from there, it's 2 coats of regular mascara. I use the Lancome Idol, with the third coat being a waterproof, just to keep the mascara from transferring any dark colors on the lower half of my eye. And when I apply my mascara, I like to start at the very root of my lashes and wiggle them and then wiggle as I pull up. So first coat is the entire lash. And while that first coat is drying, I will go in and start my lips, and I'll just do a quick lip liner. This is the Charlotte Tilbury in medium. And when I line my lips, I like to line the bottom first just so that I can get a sense for where they're gonna end. And then I like to line the sides of the lip, but I don't bring the liner all the way to the corner. I feel like that just makes your face bend a little bit. So I like to just do a straight line from my Cupid's bow, and then I stop about a pencil width short of the corner. Then I go back and do my second coat of mascara. Now here I just take the outer half of my lash and do a second coat just on that outer lash, where I'm really taking it and pulling it up and out at the same time, just to help elongate not only the lash itself, but the eye by just pulling that outward. And then the last thing on my lips before I apply my lipstick or my lip gloss that day is I'll just create that little tiny V. Now, if you like that more lip lift look where the lip is actually lifted, and that's actually a procedure nowadays where they'll cut a little bit of your skin between here and lift your lip so that it gets more that turned up look. If you like that look, then you can just simply connect the 2 dots from your V. So instead of going V, you just go straight across. And it gives a little bit more of a lifted look. We'll just leave that for today. Why not? I don't normally do that, so we'll see if I can wear it like that all day. That might bug me that my V isn't there, but I'm gonna try to just leave it. And next I'm just gonna put this Every Girl by Kaja. I just did a review on these, you guys. They are so cute. If you didn't see that video, I'll link it right up here for you. They have 5 colors, 5 or 6, 5 I think. And they're just so cute, and it's like they call it a lip mousse. It comes on a little tiny doe foot applicator. Nice product. It's not drying, it's not a matte, it's not a liquid, but it stays really nicely. And this is one, I mean, these are just so cute. And once that's setting in place, I will go back to my third and final coat of mascara, and this is the La Roche Waterproof. That third coat of mascara, the waterproof, is where I'll do just a little bit of the outer corner of my lower lashes. I hadn't done that for a while, and I just started doing that again, and I think I like it again. And then last but not least on the lips, just to finish those off, is I will go back in with just this L'Oreal 910 Shiny Peach. I can't help it. There's no shocker if you've watched this channel before. It just feels like it gives me that nice, warm, glossy look that I like to finish off this type of a look with. And it just goes so nicely with these nice, warm peach colors that I put on my eyes. And then when you match that with the blush, it just all complements one another really well. These are the last two final things that I will always do after I finish my lips. I'll go back in with a nice fan brush. This is actually a face brush, and I just like it for highlighter. And I will go, this is the Reloaded by Revolution. I've talked about this highlighter so much because it's just my favorite. And I'll just go right above the cheekbones in an upward motion. I'll put a little bit on the center of my nose and then just a little bit on my forehead. And then the final step for me is if you're really oily and you need to put on a powder, a pressed powder or a loose powder, this might be where you do that. It's entirely up to you how you layer it. There is a method that I believe in to get a nice flawless foundation look, and I'll link that at the end of this video. It's called Flawless Foundation. If you haven't seen that video, you definitely want to watch it. It really walks you through the different ways to layer your foundations and then your powders and your setting sprays, depending on if you have oily skin, dry skin, or combination skin. I have more combination skin, so once I put that primer in those little areas where I needed, then I really don't use much powder to set it. I just use just a little bit of this e.l.f. setting spray. And this stuff smells so good. It has just such a light hint of coconut. So that pretty much finishes how I would get ready on just a normal day. And then I would fluff up my hair because I probably would have messed it up, which I did. And yeah, today's just sort of a fun run some errands. I have a couple of videos I need to edit, so I'll be sitting behind the desk for the rest of the day until I have to go to the store. Who knows what I'll end up doing, but thank you for spending the day with me as I got ready. I hope you got ready with me as well, and we did it together. All of the products, again, that I used will be linked in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If so, give it a thumbs up, and please leave me a comment on if you like to see tutorials, and if so, what type of tutorial you'd be interested in me doing, and I will work on it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.